Good morning, girls. This is Dr. Kiran Deswal. Today, I will teach you Birthday composed by Basil. This video lecture is in the continuation of the previous video which I have shared on our WhatsApp group and YouTube link yesterday. Yesterday, we saw that the author is giving a clockwise description of the events of his birthday. So let us begin. 11 o'clock. What was happening with him on his birthday? He is narrating all those events. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Now it's 11 o'clock. He he is hungry and he wants a full meal so that he can forget his headache for some time. So the lunch was assured by Hamid. So he goes to Hamid. 11 o'clock. Hamid was not in his shop. Now we can guess what can happen, what destiny holds for our author. Had he gone home? He questions. Hamid is not at the shop. At this time, usually he can be seen at the shop, but if he is not here, he might have gone to home. It would have been more appropriate for him to have taken me with him. It's a courtesy. He should accompany me while he had invited me for the lunch. Maybe he forgot. He thinks that maybe he forgot this thing. Suppose I go to his house. 11:30. He goes to Hamid's house, knocks at the gate. The metal gates of Hamid's double-storied house were closed. I knocked on them. Hey, Mr. Hamid, he calls him. No answer. He receives no answer. Hey, Mr. Hamid. He again receives no answer. But an angry woman's voice answered. She replied, he isn't there. Hamid is also not at his home. Where has he gone? The author asked. Silence. There was no answer. I knocked on the gates again before I gave way to weariness and started to walk back. He was hopeless. There was no option to instead of returning back. Then I heard the footsteps of someone approaching. He thinks that someone is coming, and the jingle of bangles. It was Hamid's wife. The door opened a little. A young woman. I asked. A young woman opens the door. Then the author asked, where is Hamid gone? He had to go somewhere urgently. When will he be back? Late in the evening. Late in the evening? It means there is no possibility of having lunch with Hamid. So, time is betraying with our author. He has not had his tea and his lunch is also postponed. When he returns, please tell him that I came and inquired. Who shall I say? Hamid's wife asked, who are you? Who am I? Again the author questions to himself. Who am I? I? Oh, nobody. The author compares to himself with nobody. It's not necessary to say anything. Don't say anything to Hamid. I walked back. Steps are heavy. He is returning back. He is hungry. He is having a headache. The sand was like hot dry sugar. It was midday. There was sunlight, sun heat, and the sand was like hot dry sugar. A beautiful comparison. Hot sand is compared with hot dry sugar. Then the expanse of lake water shining like glass. It happens when we look at the water, the sun's reflection is there and it shines like a glass. So both these similes are very beautiful. Hot sand is compared here with hot dry sugar, and shining sun, its reflection on the lake water, is compared with glass. So both are beautiful images. We can visualize these images. There were darkness in my eyes and head. He's tired, he's hopeless, he's in despair. He has not had a cup of tea. He hasn't had his lunch. I was in great misery, and this was his condition on his birthday. My bones were burning, thirst, hunger. I was famished. He was too much hungry. I was famished enough to swallow the earth. It is also a very beautiful comparison, a very beautiful concept. He was too hungry that he could have swallowed the earth, the whole earth. The sharpness of my hunger was whetted by the knowledge that I had no means of getting any food. It happens whenever we are hungry, when we come to know that there is nothing to eat, our hunger grows. Endless days and nights lay ahead of me with no prospectus of any food. He thinks that I will not get any food, never. I might drop down with exhaustion. He was feeling dizzy. Now it's 12:30. My acquaintances passed me by without seeming to see me. It happens when you are moneyless, when you are helpless, when you need some help. People ignores you, people avoids you. So his acquaintances, the people who were familiar with him, were passing by him like they don't know him. Oh, my friends, this is my birthday. Wish me happiness on my birthday. How miserable the author is. I whispered in my heart. He is whispering to himself that it's my birthday. Please treat me well on my birthday. Wish me happiness on my birthday. The shadows passed me by. Why was it that my friends did not speak to me on seeing me? Why they are not speaking with me while seeing me? Because there was a CID man after the author. That's why they were afraid. A CID man after me. That was why. That's why his friends are not talking to him. 1 o'clock. The police is also after him because being an activist, he writes something revolutionary, and that's why at that time there was no freedom of press. So no one can express his views freely. That's why the police was after him. At 1 o'clock, I went to Mr. P. He goes to Mr. P, who was formerly the editor of a paper and now he is a shopkeeper. I could hardly see because he was feeling dizzy. There was darkness in his eyes. I was famished. P said, how far away is the revolution? So, when someone is not in the condition of talking about revolution or ideas like that, when he is asked how far away is the revolution, one thinks like, oh, it is quite near. He says that revolution is very near. Ha ha. Where are you coming from? Haven't seen you for some time. Haha. Anything special? Oh, nothing, just like that. They are having a normal chit chat. I sat near him in a chair. Many articles of mine had been published in his name. To show his former glory, he had bound several old papers into a volume. We know that the shopkeeper, Mr. P, was an editor, former editor. So as a memory, he was having all those papers which were published. But in reality, the papers were and articles were written by the author, but he was harassed by the police or people like that. So he gave them to this Mr. P, and he get them edited on his name, all papers into a volume. I picked it up and kept looking into it with my head reeling. He was feeling dizzy, his head was reeling, my heart was beating fast, saying, I want a cup of tea. I am very tired. He was very tired. He was desperately needed a cup of tea. Why was not P asking me? Couldn't he see my tiredness? He is questioning to himself. Mr. P, can't you see my tiredness? Please offer me a cup of tea. He is sitting sullenly near his cash box. I dumbly looked towards the street. Two beggar boys were fighting for a piece of dosa lying in the rubbish heap. Dumbly, my whole self begged, a cup of tea, a cup of tea. He was just wishing that may Mr. P offer me a cup of tea. P opened his box from among rupees and small change. He picked out an anna and gave it to a boy and said, "Bring tea," he ordered. The boy ran. My heart began to cool. He thinks that the author assumes that Mr. P has ordered tea for the author, but again, tea was not in his destiny. P took the cup of tea brought by the boy and turned to me. "Do you want tea?" Whenever someone asks you like this, it is very clear that the tea is not for you, it's for the person who has ordered it. I said no, and I bent down, pretending to tie my shoelace, lest he saw my face and the agitation of my heart. He tries to hide his feelings of anger and thirst. P complained, "You haven't given me any of your books." "I will give you my books. I have been reading reviews of them." "Good." I tried to smile, but how can the face smile when there is no light in the heart? It is a very true description of one's condition when you are sad in heart, when your heart is heavy with tiredness, with hunger, you are unable to smile. So we see that the author in a great misery, but he is describing the events, the feelings very beautifully, very truly. Thanks for watching.